J.J. Watt, short for Justin James Watt, was born on March 22, 1989, in Waukesha, Wisconsin. His father is John, a firefighter, and similarly, his mother is Connie, who works as a building operations vice president. Moreover, both of his younger brothers, Derek Watt and T.J. Watt, play for the NFL as well. Watt attended Pewaukee High School, where he was a 4-year letter winner in football and also lettered in basketball, baseball, and track and field. He earned the Woodland Conference Player of the Year award his senior year, and first-team All-State, All-County, All-Area, and All-Conference selections as tight end and defensive end. He was also named the team's MVP. During his senior year, Watt accumulated a total of 399 receiving yards, 26 catches, and 5 touchdowns. Watt followed in his father's footsteps and competed in the shot put during his senior season, earning first-team All-State selection. He captured the state title in the shot put at the 2007 WIAA Division II Championship, setting a new school record with a throw of 59 feet, 11.5 in 18.28 meters. Regarded as a 2-star recruit by both Rivals.com and Scout.com, Watt was ranked among neither the top tight end nor the top defensive end prospects in his class. After official visits to Central Michigan, Colorado, and Minnesota, Watt chose to play for Central Michigan under coach Butch Jones. Watt received a scholarship offer from Central Michigan University and matriculated there. He has stated that he was led to believe by Butch Jones that, as a tight end, he would have the opportunity to score touchdowns. At Central Michigan, he played 14 games, compiling 77 receiving yards and 8 receptions. Watt's coaches, led by Butch Jones, suggested that he move to offensive tackle, but Watt decided to forego his starting spot and scholarship to walk on at the University of Wisconsin, where he played as a defensive end. At the University of Wisconsin-Madison, Watt was redshirted for the 2008 season and was named Wisconsin Scout Team Player of the Year. In 2009, he played in 13 games as a defensive end. In a game against Hawaii on December 5, 2009, Watt had a career high of 2 sacks for 9 yards, 3 tackles for loss, 6 tackles, and 1 quarterback hurry. Watt finished the season with 32 solo tackles, 12 assisted tackles, 4.5 sacks, 15.5 tackles for loss, and 5 passes defended. He also earned his first letter. On November 20, 2010, against Michigan, he recorded his first collegiate interception. Overall, in the 2010 season, Watt played in 13 games and led the team in tackles for loss, quarterback hurries, blocked kicks, and forced fumbles. He finished the season with 42 solo tackles, 20 assisted tackles, 21 tackles for loss, 7 sacks, 1 interception for 15 yards, 9 passes defended, and 3 fumbles forced. He earned the Ronnie Lott Trophy in 2010, voted AP and Sports Illustrated Second Team All-American, All-Big Ten First Team, Academic All-Big Ten, and was voted the team's MVP. Watt skipped his senior season, entering the 2011 NFL Draft. At the 2011 NFL Combine, he was a top performer in all Combine categories except the 40-yard dash. On April 28, 2011, he was the first defensive end selected in the first round. He was picked by the Houston Texans with the 11th overall pick. The Texans signed Watt to a 4-year, $11.24 million contract on July 31, 2011. In the 2011 season, Watt started all 16 games. In the season opener against the Indianapolis Colts, he had 5 tackles and a fumble recovery in his NFL debut. On November 27, against the Jacksonville Jaguars, Watt had his first multi-sack game with 2.0 in the 20-13 victory. Watt finished his rookie year with 48 solo tackles, 8 assisted tackles, and 5.5 sacks. The Texans qualified for the playoffs for the first time in franchise history. In the playoffs, Watt recorded 11 solo tackles, 3 assisted tackles, an interception returned for a touchdown, 1 pass defended, and 3.5 sacks in 2 games against the Cincinnati Bengals and Baltimore Ravens. Watt was named Texans Team Rookie of the Year, USA Today All-Joe Team, and Pro Football Weekly, PWFA All-Rookie Team. In 2012, Watt had one of the best seasons for a defensive player in NFL history. He finished the season with 69 solo tackles, 12 assisted tackles, 20.5 sacks, 16 passes defended, 4 forced fumbles, and 2 fumble recoveries. He was named the AFC Defensive Player of the Month in both September and December. On November 22, 2012, in a game against the Detroit Lions, Watt recorded 3 sacks, to give him a total of 14.5, breaking the Texans' record for sacks in a season, which was previously held by Mario Williams. On December 16, against the Indianapolis Colts, Watt recorded 3 sacks and 10 total tackles in a 29-17 victory. The Texans made the playoffs again in 2012, and Watt recorded 6 solo tackles, 3 assisted tackles, 2 passes defended and 2 sacks in 2 games. Watt finished the season 2.5 sacks shy of Michael Strahan's single-season record for sacks, set in 2001. Watt was named to the 2013 NFL Pro Bowl team on December 26, 2012. Watt also was named Texans Team Most Valuable Player, USA Football Fundamentals Team, PFW First Team All-Pro, Pro Football Weekly, PFWA Most Valuable Player, NFL 101 AFC Defensive Player of the Year, AP First Team All-Pro, and the AP Defensive Player of the Year. Watt received 49 out of 50 votes for the Defensive Player of the Year award. He is the first Texans player to receive an NFL Player of the Year award. Watt was the 17th defensive lineman and only the 8th defensive end to receive the award since 1971. Watt also made the highest debut on NFL Network's Top 100 Players list for 2012, coming in at number 5. Watt had a strong season, but the Texans struggled as a whole, in the 2013 season. In Week 2, against the Tennessee Titans, he had his first 2 sacks of the season in a 30-24 win. From Weeks 7 to 12, he recorded at least 1 sack in each game. Overall, in the 2013 season, Watt recorded 65 solo tackles, 15 assisted tackles, 7 passes defended, 10.5 sacks, 4 forced fumbles, and 2 fumble recoveries. The Texans, however, had a losing season and finished with a 2-14 record. Watt was named to the 2014 NFL Pro Bowl and was a Pro Bowl captain. Prior to the start of the 2014 season, the Texans and Watt agreed to a 6-year contract extension, worth $100 million. He received $30.9 million at signing and he was to receive $21 million at the start of the 2016 season if he was on the roster. This contract made him the NFL's highest-paid non-quarterback, based on average yearly salary. In a game against the Oakland Raiders, on September 14, Watt became the first defensive player in Texans history to score a touchdown from scrimmage. He scored the touchdown on a 1-yard catch after coming into the game as a tight end. He scored his second touchdown of the season on September 28, against the Buffalo Bills. Watt picked off a pass from Buffalo's E.J. Manuel that was intended for Fred Jackson, and returned it 80 yards for a touchdown. With this touchdown, Watt became tied at 6th for the longest interception return by a defensive lineman. Watt's touchdown was also the 4th longest interception return in Houston Texans history. During the game, Watt hit Manuel 9 times, but was flagged twice for roughing the passer. Watt was fined $16,537 for one of the incidents. Watt was named the AFC Defensive Player of the Month for September. In a game against the Indianapolis Colts, on October 9, 2014, Watt forced Colts quarterback Andrew Luck to fumble the ball. Watt recovered the ball and returned it 45 yards for a touchdown. For his 4th touchdown of the season, Watt caught a 2-yard pass from Texans quarterback Ryan Mallett, for Mallett's first NFL touchdown pass. Watt recorded 4 solo tackles, an assisted tackle, a sack, a forced fumble, and a fumble recovery in the same game, which was on November 16, against the Cleveland Browns. Watt scored his 5th touchdown on November 30, 2014, catching a 1-yard pass from Texans quarterback Ryan Fitzpatrick. With this reception, Watt became the first defensive lineman to have scored at least 5 touchdowns in a season since 1944. On December 21, Watt recorded his 54th sack as a Texan in a 25-13 win against the Baltimore Ravens. With that sack, he surpassed Mario Williams as the franchise leader in sacks. On December 28, he had a sack for his first career safety against the Jacksonville Jaguars, which gave him 3 sacks on the day and 20.5 on the season, making him the only player in NFL history to have 20.5 or more sacks in separate seasons. Watt also finished the season with a career-high 5 fumble recoveries and 5 touchdowns. Despite battling a groin injury and a fractured left hand, Watt started all 16 games in 2015, making 76 tackles, an NFL-leading 17.5 sacks, 8 passes defended, 3 forced fumbles, and a fumble recovery. In the regular season finale, against the Jacksonville Jaguars, Watt had a season-high 3 sacks to go along with 8 total tackles. He was named to the 2015 Pro Bowl, which was his 4th consecutive appearance, and also received his 3rd Defensive Player of the Year award, the only player aside from Lawrence Taylor to do so. With the Texans finishing the season 9-7, the team clinched an AFC South Division title but were shut out 30-0 by the Kansas City Chiefs in the wild card round. On January 12, 2016, Watt underwent groin surgery for a sports hernia. This forced Watt to withdraw from the 2016 Pro Bowl. This was his 4th straight Pro Bowl honors to go along with his 4th straight first-team All-Pro. He was ranked as the top defensive lineman and the 3rd best player on the NFL Top 100 Players of 2016. On July 21, 2016, Watt underwent back surgery for a herniated disc. He began training camp on the PUP list, but returned in Week 1 to start the season in a victory over the Chicago Bears. In Week 2, he had 1.5 sacks and 5 total tackles against the Kansas City Chiefs. On September 22, in the game against the New England Patriots, Watt recorded 2 assisted tackles in his final action of the season. On September 28, 2016, he was placed on injured reserve. The following day, he underwent back surgery again, and was officially ruled out for the rest of the season after playing 3 games and recording 1.5 sacks. Even though Watt played in only 3 games, he was ranked 35th on the NFL Top 100 Players of 2017. Watt returned from his injury to play in the season opener against the Jacksonville Jaguars. During Week 5 against the Kansas City Chiefs on Sunday Night Football, Watt left the game after an apparent leg injury. It was later revealed that he suffered a tibial plateau fracture in his left leg. He underwent surgery the next day and was ruled out the remainder of the season. In only 5 games, Watt finished with 11 tackles and 2 passes defended. Despite the limited action, he was still ranked 84th by his peers on the NFL Top 100 Players of 2018. During the 2017 season, Watt raised upwards of $40 million for relief and recovery efforts for the Houston area after Hurricane Harvey. The entire sum was raised through an online drive after he donated $100,000 of his own money as the starting base. Watt commented that this season was always about more than football. Watt was co-named Sports Illustrated Sportsperson of the Year for 2017 for his humanitarian efforts. Watt was named Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year. Watt returned from his injury in time for the season opener 2018 against the New England Patriots. After being held without a sack in the first 2 weeks, he collected 3 sacks and 8 combined tackles in the Week 3 27-22 defeat against the New York Giants, his first sack since Week 2 of 2016. He followed that up with 2 sacks the following week in the OT win against the Indianapolis Colts. He was named the AFC Defensive Player of the Month for the month of September after recording 5 sacks, 20 tackles, and 4 forced fumbles. In Week 12, Watt recorded 9 tackles, 1.5 sacks and a forced fumble in a 34-17 win over the Tennessee Titans, earning him AFC Defensive Player of the Week. After only recording 1.5 sacks in his previous 2 injury-plagued seasons, Watt finished the season with 16 sacks, second in the league behind Aaron Donald, and was named a first-team All-Pro for the 5th time in his career. Watt became the second player to record 4 seasons with at least 15 sacks since the sack became an official statistic in 1982. Reggie White had 5 such seasons. In the season opener 2019 against the New Orleans Saints, Watt recorded no tackles and no quarterback hits in the narrow 30-28 loss. This was the first time in 105 career games that he was held to these numbers. 2 weeks later against the Los Angeles Chargers, Watt sacked Phillip Rivers twice in the 27-20 road victory. During Week 8 against the Oakland Raiders, Watt suffered a season-ending torn pectoral. The Texans went on to win 27-24. He was placed on injured reserve 3 days later. Watt was designated for return from injured reserve on December 24 and began practicing with the team again. He was activated on December 31, 2019, prior to the team's wildcard playoff game against the Buffalo Bills. During the game, Watt sacked Josh Allen once during the 22-19 overtime win. This sack forced the Bills, who were up 13-0 at the time, to settle for a field goal rather than a touchdown, allowing the Texans to get back in the game and eventually win it in overtime. During the 2020 season in Week 2 against the Baltimore Ravens, Watt recorded his first 2 sacks of the season on Lamar Jackson during the 33-16 loss. In Week 6 against the Tennessee Titans, Watt recorded his 99th career sack on Ryan Tannehill, a strip sack that was recovered by the Texans, during the 42-36 overtime loss. In Week 9 against the Jacksonville Jaguars, Watt recorded his 100th career sack on rookie quarterback Jake Luton during the 27-25 win. In Week 12, against the Detroit Lions, Watt intercepted a pass thrown by Matthew Stafford and returned it for a 19-yard touchdown during the 41-25 win. It was Watt's 3rd career pick six and his first touchdown since 2014. On February 12, 2021, Watt requested and was granted his release from the Texans. Watt is the president and founder of the Justin J. Watt Foundation, a charity organization that provides after-school opportunities for children in various communities, in order for them to get involved in athletics in a safe environment. This foundation's motto, "Dream Big, Work Hard," is sold on wristbands and T-shirts. Since this foundation was launched in 2010, Watt has raised over $1 million. While most of the schools that benefit from the fundraising are in Texas and Wisconsin, schools in Alabama, Illinois, and California have also received donations. Watt's mother Connie is the vice president of the organization. Watt and the J.J. Watt Foundation host a charity classic, run, walk, golf outing, and tailgate annually. The Charity Classic is a softball game held at Constellation Field, in Sugar Land, Texas, in which Texans players participate in a game and home run derby to raise money for the foundation. The inaugural Charity Classic game was in 2013, and the 2014 Charity Classic raised over $436,433 towards his foundation. On August 26, 2014, Watt received the Texan Spirit of the Bull Community Award. On November 14, 2014, Watt was nominated for the NFL's Salute to Service Award that honors either a coach, player, or owner for their efforts in supporting the country's servicemen and women. Due to the extremely good turnout in 2014, the annual Charity Classic has been moved to Minute Maid Park, home of the Houston Astros. The 2015 event raised over $640,000. For the 2017 game, Watt invited Arnold Schwarzenegger and swimmer Simone Manuel, a 2-time Olympic gold medalist and native of Houston. J.J. Watt stands at a height of 1.96 meters, i.e. 6 feet and 5 inches tall. He has a body weight of 288 pounds, i.e. 131 kilograms. He has an athletic body build. Since 2016, Watt has been in a relationship with professional soccer player Kealia Ohai. In 2019, they became engaged. Watt and Ohai were married on February 15, 2020, in the Bahamas.